Good morning, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. Is there anyone that is here for the very, very first time?
And our reading today is by W.H. Murray. Until one is committed, there is always hesitancy, the trance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. Concerning all acts, there is always one elementary truth, ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans. The moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help that one would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events issues from the decision raising one's favor, all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material assistance, which no man could have dreamt would have come his way.
Welcome to those of you who may have just arrived in the sanctuary. Reverend Bill Turner. The theme for the month of May is creativity, and my talk today is Take Massive Action Now. Yeah. We've been talking over the last 3 Sundays about this idea of creativity, our innate power to consciously create the experiences of our lives, to create a life that we're passionate about, a life that we love to live. My guess is that most of us here today kind of have an idea, at least somewhat, of what that life would look like. That as we're sitting here, we can even envision it in our mind's eye. Now, this vision might be about an aspect of your life or about an arena of your life. Perhaps you're looking for a loving partner or a fulfilling career or to write a book or to bring a new invention into the world, or to lose some weight, or to expand your bank account, or to find a cure for cancer, or to bring anything forward that you desire, whether it appears to be kind of big or whether it appears to be rather small. There is something within each of us that is seeking to be expressed. We all have imagination. We all have the ability to dream, to bring forward an idea out before us with intention, to bring it into the experience of our lives. The bottom line, however, is that we can imagine all that we want. We can dream all that we want, but unless we actually take that action step to start on the pathway to creating our dreams and desires, then the end result will be that we continue to create the life that we've always been creating, that nothing will change. The Buddha says the longest journey begins with the first step. But what is it about that one step that so often feels so hard to do? Why is it so hard for us to take action, let alone massive action, to bring forward our dreams into our lives? Each of us sitting here today can probably think about a time in which you did not bring forward your dreams into your life. My guess is you probably had some reasons for it, probably some what you thought were really good reasons in that moment. Might have sounded like, well, I am waiting for the right time. I'm waiting for this to happen or for that to happen first. Maybe it sounded like, oh, I'm not happy, but I just don't know what it is that I want to do. Or maybe I have some other demands on me right now. I couldn't quite possibly move forward in this moment. Or maybe I don't have the time. Or maybe I'm not smart enough, good enough, young enough, or blank enough. All of us probably have something we could put into that blank. No matter what we're telling ourselves, however, the reason that we don't move forward on our dreams or our desires, the reason that we don't take any action steps is fear. Fear is what's holding us back. Fear is the reason that our dreams disappear almost as soon as they come up for us. Taking action on them is putting ourselves out on the line. And sometimes it's just much easier to stay where we are. That playing small or playing safe is more acceptable than the fear of taking action, more acceptable than the fear of taking a risk, more acceptable than getting out on those skinny little branches when we don't know what's going to happen next. We tell ourselves that everything is okay, that nobody gets to be happy all of the time, and that whatever it is that we're doing and wherever it is that we are is allowing us to survive. And so we go about trying to convince ourselves that that's just fine. But the challenge is that somewhere deep within us, we know that life is about more than just survival. That we are here, we were meant to live, to truly live, to truly thrive. Taking action on our dreams can bring up a fear of success. We worry that if we really succeed, putting our dream powerfully into action, that it will require more of us, that it will demand more of us, that we will have less time and less freedom. And so we don't act. Taking action on our dreams can bring up a fear of failure. We worry that we will not succeed, that people will judge us or criticize us, or, heaven forbid, find out that we really are as incapable as we think we are. Now, you don't have to raise your hands, but my guess is that everyone here has failed at something sometime in their life before. And yet we're all here. We all survived. And for many of us, we were able to move through that moment of failure and to find the gift that was actually there. That we were able to recognize that out of that failure, something even more magnificent actually happened. History is laden with people who have failed and failed again and yet continued to act and ultimately succeeded. J.K. Rowling, Steve Jobs, Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, Michael Jordan, Albert Einstein, Orville and Wilbur Wright, to name just a few of them. As I was researching for today's talk, I discovered that not taking action on our dreams can also bring up something that behavioral psychology calls the acrostia effect. Now, the acrostia effect is the state of acting against one's better judgment. Anybody been there before? Mm-hmm. It's when we do one thing when we know we really should be doing something else. So loosely translated, it has to do with procrastination, not following through on what we set out to do. In an article I read called The Acrostia Effect, Why Don't We Follow Through on What We Set Out to Do and What to Do About It? It's a lofty article. James Clear, the author, talks about something called time inconsistency. Now, time inconsistency refers to our human tendency to value immediate rewards more than future rewards. When we have a vision or a dream or an idea that we wish to bring into the experience of our lives, we're actually planning for a future self. And in that moment, it is easy for us to see the importance of taking action with long-term benefits. But because of the Akrashia effect, in the moment of decision, in the moment of actually acting, we are no longer making a choice for our future self, but instead are thinking about our present self in the present moment. And our human selves value long-term benefits when they're out in the future. But in the immediate moment, we value instant gratification. Makes sense. Now, James Clear, in this article, talked about Victor Hugo. How many people know Victor Hugo? Yeah, Victor Hugo was the author of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. He said that in the summer of 1830, Victor Hugo faced an impossible deadline. 12 months earlier, he had agreed and made a contract with his publisher to write the book. But over those 12 months, other things attracted him. As Amy Steinberg would say, something shiny, shiny here, shiny there. He did everything else but write the book. All other kinds of projects held his attention instead of doing the thing that he knew he was supposed to be doing. When the publisher became extremely discouraged and disappointed about Hugo's procrastination, he demanded that he finish the book by February 1831, which at that time was now only 6 months away. So Victor Hugo devised a plan which included gathering up all of his clothing and locking it up in a location outside of his house. He saved himself one shawl. Now, some things say that it was pajamas. Some articles say that the shawl was actually a knitted whole body suit, but I don't even want to go there. Anyway, whatever it was, none of it was appropriate for him to be leaving the house in. And so he was not distracted, and he was finally able to finish writing the book. Like Victor Hugo, if we are unable to delay our desire for instant gratification, we will be unable to bridge the gap between where we are right now and where we want to be. That when we are in that place, our ability to take massive action is really inhibited. So between our underlying ideas, the things that we tell ourselves, our really good reasons that we cling on to so tightly, between our fear of success and our fear of failure and this Akrashia effect, how can we powerfully take action? Who do we need to be, and what do we need to do to take action to bring our dreams, our desires powerfully forward into our lives? Now, over the last week, I cracked a couple of books and I read many articles and looked at multiple videos. And the insight that most resonated with me came from the world-famous inspirational speaker, Tony Robbins. Within his videos, he talks about taking massive action, what that would look like, and how we can powerfully step into it. For him, there are 4 major components of being able to take massive action. They are potential, action, results, and belief. He says that there's a couple of different ways that you can look at utilizing these components, and we're going to talk about them today. And since this is my talk and I have creative license, I have expanded his conversation to include some of the things that we believe about who we all are as spiritual beings having a human experience. So the first one looks like this. We start with potential. Now, if we have no potential, then in all probability, we won't take any action. And if we don't take any action, in all probability, we will get no results. If we have a belief in a little bit of potential, we will probably take a little bit of action, which may or may not give us the results we want. And if we do get the results we want, then in all probability, what we will be saying to ourselves was, see, I told you I couldn't do it. But, on the other hand, if we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that God is, and we know that God is the presence of unlimited potential and possibility, and that we were created by God, out of God, in its image and likeness, then we can know beyond a shadow of a doubt that right where we are resides unlimited possibility and potential. Now, think about it. Think about it. How can we really put any kind of boundary about around our potential, about what is possible for us to do? Haven't we proved time and time again throughout history that we are able to do things that we never thought we were able to do? The 4-minute mile, to fly, to communicate across the world in unheard of speed, to put a man on the moon, to transplant a kidney or a lung or, my God, a heart. People have done amazing things because they believed in the potential to do so. They believed that potential existed within them and surrounding them. Now, what I know about our dreams, those dreams that we feel deep in our heart, those dreams that are constantly seeking to be expressed, those dreams that are constantly knocking on the door of our consciousness, is that they are first and foremost God's dreams, God's desires for us. And that God doesn't call the qualified, but qualifies the called. That each and every dream, each and every desire is already filled with what it needs to be expressed, to be fulfilled, that all we have to do is to do whatever it is that is ours to do. And it may be a small step, it may be a big step, it may be simply surrendering, it may be getting quiet enough to hear what it is that we are to do. Ernest Holmes says the divine mind does not necessarily contain a mental blueprint of everything that the individual is going to do. It does, however, contain the possibility of all individual action, the possibility of all individual action. When anyone conceives of a new idea, thinks up a new plan for procedure, which is in accordance with the divine nature, then God itself is going forth anew into creation through that individual. And that person may and should expect that all of the power and all of the presence there is will creatively flow through his individual word because he has complied with the fundamental law of harmony governing all of life. From that underlying belief that the allness of possibility and potential lies within us, we operate with certainty. Certainty. I will do amazing things. That's not a wishy-washy statement. We're not talking about some willy-nilly, maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't happen kind of idea. What we are talking about is that expectation that Ernest Holmes was talking about. From this place, we take action. And when we take action, whether it's a big, massive steps or whether it's small steps that lead to other small steps or small steps that lead to bigger steps, we take action. And when we take that action, we get results. We can expect results. Do you remember the story that I told a number of years ago about the two shoe salesmen that were sent to Africa to sell shoes? One of them wrote back to their boss in a telegram saying, hopeless situation. They don't wear shoes. And the other one wrote back, glorious opportunity, they don't have shoes yet. Can you hear the difference in their underlying belief about potential? Who will take more action? Who will get more results? When we are certain of the potential, we take massive action and we get massive results. From that underlying belief that the allness of potential and possibility exists within us, we are certain. We take action, we get results, and then when we get those results, what we say is, see, I told you that I could do it. And when we say that, that reinforces our belief in our underlying possibility and potential, from which we take more massive action and get more results, which increases our belief, which makes us more aware of our potential. On and on and on. Anything can and will happen. Anything. Now, the second way to approach these four components is to begin with results. Thomas Troward and Ernest Holmes would say to create a mental equivalent of the results that you want in your mind's eye. Make it compelling. Make it be compelling. Make it be something that excites you, something that twirls your skirt, something that lights you on fire. The invitation is to stay out of the how, but to stand firmly grounded in the what. Imagine your dream. Imagine your dream life. Imagine it happening right here, right now, without any hesitation, without any limitations. Feel it. Dive into how it makes you feel. Enjoy the sensations that you are feeling. The feeling tone is what actually fuels the manifestation of that dream. Mary Mannon Morrissey would say to put on the coat of the person that is already doing the thing that you want to be doing or already living the life that you want to be living. Be in the energy of manifestation. Now, over the years, there has been massive amounts of research done on visualization. And all of it speaks to its importance. All of it speaks to its significant contribution in getting the results that we want. Athletes do it all the time to enhance their performance. It's the exact same thing here. When we visualize our dream life, moment by moment, we are changing our certainty around it. And when we change our certainty, it increases our beliefs. That increases our beliefs. The certainty increases our belief, which increases our awareness of the power and potential and possibility that lies within us, which then fuels our massive action, which then gets us the results that we want. And over and over and over again. Goethe says, whatever you can do or dream, do it. That boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. So the invitation today is to abide in your oneness with God. Believe in the presence of infinite possibility and potential that lies within you. Let go of any fear or doubt or worry that may be in resistance to your taking action. Break the old patterns that you have been running again and again and do something new. Never settle for being anything less than what you were created to be. Be accountable. Be accountable to that dream that is seeking to be expressed through and as you. If you don't know what that is, get quiet and ask. Stand firmly grounded in certainty and expectation. Create a compelling vision in your mind, a mental equivalent of the results that you want. Let this vision be the why behind your actions. A why that is strong enough to carry you through the inevitable challenges that life holds for us. Allow yourself to feel the feeling tone of already doing the thing that you want to do or living the life that you want to live in every cell in your body. Allow that feeling tone to enhance your belief in unlimited possibility and to fuel your ability to take massive action right here and right now. And so it is. So I invite you to turn within. To turn away from the world of form, away from those fears and doubts and worries and excuses and reasons that all seem so valid and real in the moment, to turn our attention inward to the center of our being, to that space and place that I call God, that is the very essence of creativity, of joy, of unconditional love, of unlimited possibility and potential. I know that it is who I am. I know that I was created by it, created in its image and likeness, that right where I am is the fullness of God, the wholeness of God. And I know that this can't just be true for me, that it has to be true for each and every single one of us. And so I know that each of us is a unique and divine expression of God. That each of us is an ambassador of God, here to bring forward the dreams that God has. Our dreams, our desires. The ones that keep knocking on the door of our consciousness. And it is from that place of wholeness, that place of divine connection with the divine, that I speak these words about and for each of us today, truly knowing that we are spiritual beings having a human incarnation. That when we arrived on the planet, we arrived with unlimited potential, unlimited possibility. That it is who and what we are at our very core. And it is from that deep place of understanding that I am able to say with assuredness that there is an ease and grace about our powerfully stepping forward, that as we continue to deepen our relationship with the God of our being, that we expand our awareness of that potential, we deepen our belief in who and what we are and our ability to powerfully bring forward our dreams into the experience of our life. I know that this is the way that it works. That as we stand powerfully in that place of knowing our potential, that taking action becomes easier, that the results then happen exactly as we saw them in that mental equivalent that we created in our mind. That we can live the life of our dreams, a life that we're passionate about, that we have the ability to create it. And I claim and know that this is the perfect space to be in the energy of that we are a group of people that understand what we're talking about, that can get behind it, that can buoy us up when we are struggling. And for that, I am so very grateful. I release these words into the power of the law, that law that only ever says yes, that law that clothes my words in form even as they are spoken. And so I speak them and I release them with love and gratitude and full expectation of their manifestation, letting go and letting God be God. And I invite each of us to anchor them for ourselves and for each other simply by saying, and so it is. Amen. Amen. Amen.